Right, open Zoom. Yes, connect with computer audio. Here we go. Hello.
Hello.
Elinor, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us your full name and what you do.
I'm Elinor Rowlands and I run Magical Women, and I'm a multidisciplinary artist. My biggest fascination is my internal landscaped body, and I want to continuously make sense of that through sound, music, film, painting, media. So that's really who I am. But my biggest number one thing is access, but not in the way that it's understood or perceived by other people. It's really, I want to make art and I want to make a living from it, but I can't because I have no access to all the ways other people have access to it. It was actually Trish Wheatley of Disability Arts Online who encouraged me to set up the space that I needed, and I knew lots of other people needed, from then I'm able to make work. Now I'm noticing real differences in my own practice, but so are they.
What do you find are the barriers beyond the technical ones that people aren't really thinking about? But what is your space that makes you work the best?
I think it's collaboration. So the space is relaxed and it's not safe. So the word safe space is incredibly triggering for a neurodivergent person, and they often always get excluded, shut down, corrected, misinterpreted, blah, blah, blah. So it's a relaxed space where the repeatedly going in and out of it on Zoom works very differently to a physical space. So what we always say is, if you want time out, just shut your camera and audio off, and you can have your time out, even just in the chat. You're saying, I'm still here, but my camera and audio's off because this is the level, the limit I can show up at the moment, and that's fine. We've got 3 access workers in the space. One is the ENT. So we have captions, and that helps actually access workers and myself to read and understand what it is being said, because so much is lost in verbal communication. We've got one who's the access worker for all the participants, and then the other access worker is my own personal one.
I mean, I find that I don't think people are thinking about access workers within digital spaces.
Sorry, I wanted to say that they have to be seen.
I was just gonna jump in there, if that's all right. And when we were speaking about the live collaborations, one of the barriers for that, however, online, was the facilitation of the live collaborations online.
With Magical Women, we facilitate relaxed spaces that kind of allow the neurodivergent person to be however they are on that day. They won't be questioned on it. It's the showing up and making music, attending to your practice, honoring your practice as you honor the space. And so, they feel comfortable or free to make any art. The only time we've ever had issues is when people do talk about the space as therapeutic or therapy, and that's not neurodivergent people, that's neurotypical people. I use access as a tool for my work, and not just as an access to be included.
I think it was last week we were, chatting around being given permission.
Yes. So safe and inclusive space is really policing people. And a relaxed space is giving permission to be autistic. We don't want eyes on us. We don't want to be center of attention for our access. It's because we don't know them until we are in the space experiencing barriers.
Ellie, I think, one of the things that we've talked about is kind of neurodivergent led spaces.
Do you mind if I just tell Stella to go on her break?
Okay. All right, I'll see you all later. Bye, Daryl. See you.
I think that's what Magical Women or the relaxed spaces does, is it brings a real deeper sense of connection, because we are just live collaborating. Neurodivergent people tend to need to collaborate in any kind of way in order to exist in the world, because their barriers are social interaction and communication. So what collaboration for me means is working with us but not including us. So when people say, oh, we want to include you, there's a sense of hierarchy there. So they're normalizing this neurotypical system and this structure that goes back to the kind of like also Black and other ethnicities, where white people do make white the normal, and it's not the normal for people who are not white. And so this sense of how do we include neurodivergent people is actually the wrong question. It's why aren't we trusting neurodivergent people to lead projects? Yeah.
Cool. Fab. All right. Well, it was lovely to chat and lovely to meet you, Lucy.
You too. Brilliant. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Oh, that was fun.
Elinor Rowlands, a disabled neurodivergent multidisciplinary artist and poet. www.elinorrowlands.com or www.magicalwomen.co.uk. Twitter @magicalwomen1, Facebook @magicalwomen.adhdartist, Instagram @Elinor Rowlands ADHD artist.